Yeah? Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago. Like my new hashtag Fire Yourself t-shirt. Give you information where you can get your own shortly. It is Wednesday, 24th of May, 2017. The time is exactly 7:59 and change. We're a minute early, so we'll take it back, right? So, yes, today we have to deal with the follow-up of a lot of stuff that happened yesterday, including 50 Shades of PNM Love. But first, while the audience builds, as usual, somebody told me today that I should cut the videos in half, do the first section, and do the call-in section as another half. You all tell me what you think. Spread the word, let them know we're here. Fire yourself. I'm going to tell you where you get your own.
Look how the sun now raising up, and the crowd now waking up. The atmosphere have vibes.
It's the Nuki early.
The girl them a wine non-stop.
The Nuki is in the house.
We're gonna party all night, all night. 24 parties we hit in a row. Tonight at the very last show. Before we ever on the road, the girl them a release the load. So let me see your hands up, so everybody know, put your hands up, so if you're ready for the road, let your friend them know. We're ready for the road.
The Progressive Empowerment Party is ready for the road.
We're ready for the road.
We are an official political party recognized by the Elections and Boundaries Commission, and we're ready for the road.
So we're ready, yeah, we're ready, yeah, we're
Feel
ready.
it?
We're ready, 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 yeah, we're ready, we're ready, we're ready, we're ready. The girl them a wait all week, forget about the road like free. The music full of applause, with thousands of chipped in feet. Everywhere you look is just food, and everybody in a real nice mood. We gonna party all night, all night. Everyone with painted body, clean credit and tainted money. Nobody want to dance by themselves.
Call them out.
Dance on somebody. Well, let me see your hands up.
Last night we had some mad numbers. Let's beat it tonight.
If you're ready for the road, let your friend them know.
Call them.
Ready for the road. We're ready for the road.
Partner called me today. He said he's stopping penal for doubles and they're talking about me around the box. That's a good thing.
Yeah, we're ready. We're ready.
PP reached penal and we ain't even come down there yet. So somebody in penal organize a little cottage meeting by you now. Anybody who wants this live video, my brother-in-law make a suggestion, and it's $1 million suggestion. When I say that, it's a brilliant idea. Anybody who would like to have this live video done by them live once a week, maybe a Friday, we come by your mall, we come by your shop, we come by your bar, we do the live video live from there. Message me and let's see if we can try it and see if we can get the mechanisms and everything in place to make it happen. We want to do town hall meetings, the length and breadth of Trinidad and Tobago. If you have a place and you have a space and you're willing to accommodate us and some neighbors, give us a holler. We come down. Yeah? You're feeling it? You getting ready?
We're ready for the road. We're ready for the road.
Doubles Factory taking us, we come in.
We're ready. We're ready.
Santa Cruz Roti Shop say they want us by them. We go Santa Cruz Roti Shop too.
We're ready. We're ready. We're ready. We're ready. We're ready. Yeah, we're ready. We're ready. We're ready. We're ready.
This morning, I put up a post on social media. I said, just testing the water. Who does t-shirts? Who could do t-shirts for me, print one at a time? Because I have my little sayings and people have been asking for if they could buy t-shirts that say, fire yourself, stick a pin in that, miss me with that, those kind of things. And yeah, so I put that message up today, and I have to answer. We have a guest calling. We have a guest tonight, and she's calling she's messaging to confirm. Anyway, so with my, let me just tell her I will call her. Right. So responding, people posted. Damn, I can't multitask. People posted at 8:30. Let me know when it's coming up to 8:30. We have tonight a very special guest, and she's talking about very important stuff. And I'll let her introduce herself to you when she comes on. So, yeah. So people were putting up names and stuff, and this one person, she sent me a message. We're not even friends on Facebook, so going through the order, and I just make a call, and she said, yeah, we could do it for you. You get one today. And she gave me a price and everything. And before I came on, they delivered the shirt. Now, they are prepared to deliver. You can order. So take this number down, please. If you want authentic, hashtag fire yourself t-shirts. We're bringing out a couple other different kinds. Enough. Miss me with that. You know, make it nice now. The name of the company though, and I highly recommend them now, because anybody who could do that in Trinidad as a first world company, Insane Creations. The person's name is Lila. When you call 282-8341, if you're calling from outside of Trinidad and Tobago, 868-282-8341. Lila at Insane Creations told me today they will take PayPal payments and ship this anywhere in the world. So you could like yourself. If you want a fat bill, tell somebody fire yourself. Right. So let's get down to the issues of the day. Yeah? Let's get on to the issues of the day. What kind of numbers we have? So last night, we dealt with sabotage. These people, the Minister of Sport jumped out himself this morning. I want to tell Trinidad and Tobago something. Communication is an art and a science. Because you can talk don't mean you should talk. If you listen, I was going to play it, but the audio on CNC3's thing is a 19-minute long video of him droning on and on. But there have a couple nuggets, and I wanted to share it with you, but the audio is too low, and I can't jack one into the other. So I want to frustrate you, so I'll tell you. So my boy, Daryl Smith, 50 Shades of P&M Love, he jumped out himself this morning on CNC3 with Hema Rampesoon to defend himself. One, he said that picture of him in close cuddling romance with his assistant communications officer, I understand that's her job. He said, that's an old picture. As if that made it better. This is a married man. That is his staff member. There are so many things wrong with that. She should be suing him. Rowley should be firing him to protect his government from a sexual harassment lawsuit. That is the Minister of Sport with all 5 fingers grappling a full cheek. He didn't leave none behind. He claimed that. You watch that? That is a this is mine claim. This is, let me just rest my hand here because I know where to put my hand. This is a hole in this bumsy because it's mine. That is what Daryl Smith, your Minister of Sport, who, like Woodsman, your Minister of Education, who is supposed to be an exemplar to young people growing up, showed that even though I am a married man with children from a good religious family, when I have staff members, I could hug them up, press my face into their face, and put my full 5 fingers on that cheek. Because I's done dada. But it gets worse. Because the man had the audacity to defend the fact that he could take who he want where he want. And if that was not worse enough, it gets worse. And I know that's not a word, so do not send me any WhatsApps or messages, I know. It gets worse. Because he said, and this is, I am trying to quote him exact. He said forget the depravity and the inappropriateness of his actions. But because he did it at a state hotel, the money stayed in the system. So I thought, well, last night I said, Colm had balls like a bull, but move over, Colm. This is Buffalo Balls, Daryl Smith. Because Daryl Smith don't care that the whole of Trinidad think he's a honor man today. He said the rule is you could step out, you could do what you like. Just make sure that if you're spending taxpayers' money to take girls on a rump to Tobago, that you stay in a state-owned hotel. The man had the audacity to tell Hamer this morning, you see, they get away with this nonsense with Hamer. That's why they will go on Hamer's show. Because Hamer don't ask follow-up questions. Hamer don't know how to ask follow-up questions, or she have to hold back because she might get fired. But somebody else would have asked him a follow-up question to this statement that he made. He said that the media is attacking him because he's delivering. Now, Mr. Daryl Smith, that lie have legs. Because even though Anil Roberts appeared to be medicating, self-medicating for the majority of his stint as Minister of Sport, he built stuff that you are cutting ribbons for regularly. The Olympic pool, the cycling track, all of these things that you are showing up to cut ribbons for. You didn't build. You didn't build Taruba. You give a PNM financer investor a $200 million contract to pressure wash a mothball stadium that Keith Rowley and Patrick Manning would call the hard bill. You ain't built nothing yet. So how you could say you performing, or that is why the media attacking you? When Michael Phillips throw you away and say, you know what? I'd rather keep my name, my integrity intact and have nothing more to do with this Ministry of Sport and fire you. You hire a man who couldn't tell a swimming pool from a mountain bike and make him the man in charge of Sport TT. I'm not busting that tonight, you know. But I laying the groundwork to let you know, Daryl, that I come in with that, Daryl, to let Trinidad know, Daryl, that friends and family and partners is who getting worked by you. And we, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, must stand against that, because last I checked, it's called nepotism. It's even called cronyism. And all those isms, besides Bamsi grab isms, is enough reason to fire you. You should do the right and honorable thing and fire yourself and go home on hands and knees and beg your wife to forgive you for embarrassing her and your beautiful children. You nasty, dirty man. You have no business trying to defend such gross indecency, especially in the position that you are in. Especially in that position, because that picture is evidence for a sexual harassment lawsuit at any time that girl want to take the state to court. And I tell her now, I know some good lawyers who will take a cut in that. You gain money now. You gain money now. And that's 50 shades of PNM love. The golden rule. When you are stepping out, go to government-owned hotels so the money stay in the system.
Cause anyway, girl, I don't want to interrupt you. See, I'm telling you, baby, see where you're behaving. When you whine like that, tell nobody to stop you.
But we're done. We're done.
Oh Lord, I wanna go down, go down. Let me see the waistline, go wrong, go wrong. Bubble to the baseline, you can't sit down. Girl, you can't sit down. Don't stick now, we can't go down.
50 Shades of PNM love. It started with Don Dada. Don Dada became Prime Minister, and when Don Dada became Prime Minister, he presented Trinidad with not one but two fully grown children. That for all the years before, when he was a member of parliament and at times when he was a minister, signed documents saying that everything he filled out this form to be is totally true, and it was all a lie. Because he had 4 children, not 2, but all those forms said 2. So somebody should take him before some authority and question him, because that should be, I mean, I know we agree, this is do what the hell you like land. This is the Royal Imperial Majestic Banana Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. In this place, he could show up with 4 more children tomorrow and the PNM will say he right, the UNC will say he wrong, the PNM will say they vex because Kamla can't find Chicharon, and that is where the people of Trinidad and Tobago have been stuck, and that is why the Progressive Empowerment Party's appearance on the scene is causing the financiers some problems, because all of a sudden the people who were stuck between those two piles of nastiness now have an actual option and a real alternative and somewhere to come and discuss issues in a world where you don't have to worry about who less worse. And it doesn't have to be, yeah, well, he brushing, but she smoking. It doesn't have to be that. We could actually come to a place 2017 where we could be proud of ourselves and our politics. That's where we're trying to go. That's where we need to go. Yeah. Put in Lila number. I put Lila's name and number, the people for the t-shirts, Insane Creations, in the thread. The number is there. Call her. Give them some business. It ought to be for this. But if you need t-shirts for anything, anybody who could deliver a shirt like this to this stand in about 6 hours, and they come in from Chaguanas, real proud of them. So, this here is, I don't know if it's true, but I'll share it. I'm being told that a cabinet reshuffle is in the works and that some new ministries have been created just for this situation. The rumor mill suggests that Colm Imbert is being made the Minister of Dwens, Lagahus and Laja Blesses, replacing the existing Minister of Dwens, Lagahus and Laja Blesses, Camille Robinson Regis, who will now be appointed to chair a special purpose brown bag committee. Shamfa Kujo is being made the Minister of Roaming. Faris Al-Rawi is to be the Minister of Hair Parts and Sideburns. Edmund Dillon is being made Minister of Hide and Seek, and Daryl Smith is being promoted to Minister of Big Awesome Love. Now, that caused a problem and a rift in the cabinet because apparently Anthony Garcia, the current Minister of Education and notorious woodsman that he is, if his wife is to believe, is said to be very upset as he wanted the post of Minister of Big and Awesome Love but had to settle for a bottle of termite spray and a slice of banana bread from Chimuk Bakery. Not to be outdone, the leader of the opposition, in refusing to be overshadowed, has announced a reshuffling of her own pack of jokers, appointing from among her ranks to shadow ministries in preparation for if her party is ever allowed to see the corridors of power again. Her own announcements seem to eerily mirror those of her PNM counterpart, with Rudal Munilal tipped to be Minister of Foreign Malls and Shopping Centres, Glenn Ramadasing as Minister of Funds and Other Collections, Anil Roberts being brought back as Minister of Hard Pull, and Tim Gopi Singh as the UNC's own choice for Minister of Big Awesome Love. Are we making fun of the government and the opposition? You bet. But they started it, yeah? Deal with that. I'm watching you wine and you know that I'm watching you, so that you keep on going. Be last sweat and we ain't wine yet. No, I wonder how that thing behind you just feel. It's too real, yeah. Time to get serious. Today, I was in a lengthy conversation with, it's 8:18, with some business people, and they wanted to know how exactly we consider ourselves to be an empowering party and what do we mean by progressive. And I tried to explain, and I want to touch on it again tonight because it can't just be bacchanal and kicks, right? I want people to understand the Progressive Empowerment Party is not another shade of politics in this country. We actually stand for stuff that will revolutionize the way governance is done in Trinidad and Tobago. And I explained to them one thing today. I want you to picture a world where your constituencies, all 41 constituencies, are run by a supervisor of health, a supervisor of education, a supervisor of public works and maintenance, a supervisor of public utilities, a supervisor, did I say education, and an assistant commissioner of police in charge of security. all of them together becomes a board of directors that run your constituency. No longer must central government be concerning themselves with pavements and roads and sidewalks and lampposts and lights and parks and community centers in the far-flung corners of Trinidad and Tobago. We can have empowered people in the constituencies, fully funded to take care of their own business. So now, no more overnight contractors like under the last government. The man who built the Diego Martin Highway also get the Maracas Beach contract and was fixing holes in San Fernando. You cannot have that occur when you have 41 different constituencies making their own decisions on who does the public works and infrastructural development and maintenance in their constituencies. You now have to corrupt 41 people to get, whereas before you only had to corrupt one Minister of Works and Transport. So that by itself will tear apart the ease with which corruption is done in Trinidad and Tobago. A supervisor of education would be responsible for all the schools in his or her constituency. Those schools would be run by a principal and a vice principal and controlled by a parent-teachers association. And inside of that would be teachers responsible for their classrooms. We suggest the removal of the ridiculous SCA exam. We suggest making all schools zoned and bring all schools to the level of the prestige schools. Make sure we empower all of the schools. Give all of the schools the same tools, the same resources. Now, when we remove the SCA, the children will be given something called a grade point average. Imagine that a national grade point average is 4.4. 4.4 is the margin for success. All of the children in a class would have a collective grade point average, and all of the classes in a school would have a collective grade point average, and all of the schools in a constituency would have a collective grade point average. So a prime minister and his team could look, and a minister of education could look at the 41 constituencies, knowing that 4.4 is a national average, and find all of those that are not making the national average. If the lowest school is, the lowest constituency is doing 3.9, then you go to that constituency and you meet with the supervisor of education, and the supervisor of education's job is to find out which school or schools are bringing down the constituency average. And you can go to those schools and talk to the principal, who could talk to the teachers and identify which classes are bringing down the school average and find which children are having difficulty. And this is not to fire teachers or expel children. This is to identify the children in need of assistance. This is where you dovetail and you bring in social services to identify, because we know, and the science tells us, broken families, crime, poverty, hunger. Children come into school hungry, their blood sugar low. You think you could teach them anything? They're living in communities of violence and gunshots and noise. So then you bring in social services and the children's authority, and you go to the family and you say, listen, the child's rights to a proper education being infringed by their living conditions. So it's either we find a way to fix this, or we're going to have to move the child out of the system. But it is a way to scientifically not leave any child behind. And that is just education. Healthcare would have, all constituencies would get one primary healthcare facility, but for far-flung and large constituencies, they may have to be smaller facilities also, to make sure, because we want to work with this 15-minute number, that 15 minutes from an accident or any injury requiring medical intervention, you should be in an accident and emergency unit. And all 41 constituency health centers would be 24-hour facilities equipped with accident and emergency, what we call casualty, what others call trauma centers, minor surgery suites to deal with minor surgeries. Major surgeries would happen at the general hospitals, but generally major surgeries you could stabilize the patient, use your own ambulance that's attached to each health center, and take them to the closest major hospital and have major surgery done there. That is how you manage health. How we manage national security. We have 41 constituency managers, precincts, Each of those persons responsible for a constituency and responsible for all the police stations, police posts, assets, and personnel in that constituency. So when a Minister of National Security looks at the national board and to see which constituencies are doing worse for crime, you then could address, because the squeaky wheel gets the grease in this, you address the constituencies that need the most assistance for violence and murder. Pradial larceny has different needs than gunshot and murder. I remember when Johnny Abraham had come, when people were calling to move Johnny Abraham into Inspector Alexander's area and switch them out, because the two names were the names that people knew before TV6 and all that drama. Inspector Alexander had something to say, and he wasn't wrong. Johnny Abraham was running a precinct, for want of a better word, in a big flat open space, whereas Inspector Alexander was dealing with Morva, Beetham, Lavantel, and Sealots, and the Northeastern Division Task Force was chasing people up mountain and in hills through trace and cave and all kind of bacchanal. And it's different. And the only reason for saying those things is you cannot fix any of the things wrong until you identify the things that are wrong. You cannot have problems of traffic in a constituency and not know what is causing it. Like the whole of the West, all of the west of Trinidad and Tobago has one problem for traffic every morning and every evening. The rest are smaller things that you could fix, crossing traffic. But there is one thing that is overdue to be fixed that they're not going to fix, so that we could tell them, please give us a rapid rail, it will solve the problem. A rapid rail won't solve the problem of Colville Street. Where Colville Street traffic light is, where TNTech Power Gen used to be, 200,000 vehicles is trying to come in there in the morning, while 100,000 vehicles trying to go the other way. That will always be a source of traffic, morning and evening, compounded with the fact that the port empties out 20 and 40-foot container trucks in Grap by Movie Town, coming to jump into that melee right there on Wrightson Road. If you pick up the port and move it out of Port of Spain where it needs to go, traffic in Port of Spain will be cut in half. If you deal with Colville Street's traffic light, and Colville Street traffic light could be solved by incorporating Dock Road from the traffic light up by Hyatt, because Dock Road is practically 4 lanes, and you bring them in Dock Road and you reclaim where Montreal Appliance Distributors is now, and you build a flyover there, dumping into Colville Street, so that the people coming out of the west that are trying to leave town could just pass under and go. That will solve that problem. And the reason for that, for me saying that as a solution, is to let Trinidad know that none of the problems that we have as a nation requires $500 million solutions. None. All of our problems, all of our solutions will actually save this country the billions of dollars that are wasted every year on budgets that we do not need to spend. And the $60 billion budget could be reduced to 40 and even a $30 billion budget. But you see the difference in the money? I wouldn't take it out of the budget. I would leave that money there and write a check to every citizen of this country as a shareholder and give them a piece of the money of this country every single year on your birthday, because everybody deserves to get the same kind of treatment that the political financiers and investors of both political parties have benefited, sucking at the public trough and pretending they're successful businessmen when they're a bunch of bullshit criminals stealing public money disguised as contracts and public works. And this is a nation where we had a director of highways step out of a job, retire, and go and become the CEO of a company that makes roads owned by his son-in-law. This is a mad country. Things like that are not supposed to happen. It's not supposed to be so. And we need, more than anything else, a government to get into power, to put systems in place to prevent things like that from happening in the future. I tell our partner today, you get into power, shut down the airport for a week. No yachts leaving. You can't escape. Put back what your teeth. You want to leave? Put back what your teeth and then leave. This country has been robbed of billions of dollars by people who pretend to be royalty in this country, who carry on like they have all the contacts and all the link-ups, because all the public servants who are looking for a blind and a handout is nothing for them to corrupt a lawyer and corrupt a public office holder. That is how this country, I'm breaking it down for you as simple and as easy as possible. But we're supposed to have a guest coming on this evening, so I'm going to dial her number now, and The issue we hope to be dealing with is the issue of food production and agriculture, because to the world knows food independence is the only true independence in the world to come. We're calling Shamla Maraj. And I hope she answers.
Hi, good night.
Shamla?
Yes, hi, good night.
You are live?
Good night. I know. Good night to all your viewers.
Shamla, I asked you because I think you are one of the principal minds in this country where food production and agriculture is concerned. And I wondered if you could spend a couple of minutes to tell us the obstacles to progress where food production is concerned and how we could get around that.
Okay, well, to begin with, the obstacles are many. You know, we talk about food security and time and time again, but we are nowhere close to food security, because far too often you would see that the policies are being made, budgets are being allocated, but it's done ad hocly. Because, for example, rural development, most times you would notice that in rural areas, they are agricultural based, but rural areas are neglected. Why? Because we don't see agriculture as important. And you would see institutions coming and institutions going. But these institutions, again, ad hoc, for example, NAMDEFCO and ADB should be units within the Ministry of Agriculture. So everything would work in cohesion. NAMDEFCO, again, could be a statistical hub. Use the USDA model, for example, to gather statistics so you can make decisions in every aspect of agriculture, in the value chain and the supply chain. So we would know what is being grown, how it is being grown. You connect with the meteorological office that comes in terms of market intelligence, and we don't see anything like that. And another gap is, I think, forward and backward linkage in that our manufacturing sector, if you look at the CCMA website, you would see that they classify agro-processing under manufacturing. And when they do that, the manufacturing sector makes decisions on their own, and they don't link with farmers to say, okay, we would set aside this for manufacturing, and we would set aside a next quota for consumers. We would set aside another quota, for institutional buyers.
I want to ask you a question. So you're talking data management there. I want to ask you, is it possible to plot the national consumption levels?
National consumption level.
Can you forecast the national consumption requirements for watermelon, breadfruit, soursop, guava, avocado, citrus?
Once the data is there and proper data are available, yes, you can. Most definitely, you can plot that. There's a regression.
Shamla, I want Trinidad to know that you are my first choice for Minister of Agriculture, but I also want them to know, because people who may not have ever encountered a conversation with you may not understand why your voice shakes like that. Would you like to speak to that issue at all briefly?
Well, you spoke this now.
Because you are soon to be Dr. Maraj, but you also you've been afflicted with cerebral palsy. And you are confined to a wheelchair.
Permanently. Yeah.
And you have difficulty with control of your nervous impulses and your body. Yes.
Yes, my mobility and my functional skills are severely affected. I have no balance whatsoever, and I cannot lift my own self.
You I have about 10 heroes in this world, and you remain one of them. And your mind, you have a brilliant mind. Shamla, do you think that we could get to a place where we could feed ourselves as a nation?
You could just repeat that.
Do you believe that it is possible for us to get to a place where we could feed ourselves as a nation?
Self-sufficiency?
Yes.
Of course, but we have to start from ground up, because these type of stuff you say now, if we go to continue on this trend, it won't work. We have to start from ground up with agriculture and work with stakeholders properly, work with technocrats who are in the system, and make sure that it is a priority. If it is not a priority, we will never reach that level. In my opinion.
Modern food farming techniques that exist now gives us opportunities to get a far superior yield from smaller spaces. Would you say that a proper marketing-driven food production schedule is the way to go, utilizing all of the foods, the land stock and the availability of farmers and labor?
Yes, once you have, as I say, proper data, and once you have a proper supply chain and value chain, as I was mentioning today for you, if you look at the Costa Rican model and you look at other models around the world, they have a fantastic model, and they are way smaller than us in terms of mobility, in terms of, hold on a second, sir.
Sure.
Yeah, in terms of logistics and stuff like that.
Availability of land, fertile land and stuff.
Yeah, if they could do it, we definitely can do it. And as you mentioned, the Central Marketing Agency, and we could have a farmers board, have farmers cooperatives, it has so much.
Would you incorporate the grocers and the supermarket owners so as to guide food targets? Because in a perfect world, we would set out to plan to grow 50 tons of this, 100 tons of that at predetermined prices now, with all the support systems in place through a proper food production and marketing agency, yes?
Yes. Once you're working with the farmers, you can do that. Once the farmers are willing, and you educate them to the point that they know that they benefit in the end, because you would see the farmers now at total loggerheads with institutional buyers in terms of price wars. So if you collaborate with them from farmer cooperatives and farmer boards, and you have you have a board working and making decisions and educating these current farmers, definitely. And also, I have encountered a lot of young individuals who are interested in agriculture, but their main problem is land, getting land.
Right, and I will speak to that shortly when you finish. I want to ask you just one more thing. Do you think that the state should invest in proper food processing facilities to allow for farmers to be able to take their food produce further downstream?
Of course, agricultural diversity is one of the main aspects to the agricultural sector to show that the GDP it contributes to the country is significantly high. That's why I mentioned that if you collaborate, if you put certain manufacturing sector in the country under the Ministry of Agriculture and supply them with local produce in order to protect our service sector in terms of agri-base would go 3 to 7 times higher, and people would see it as a business rather than a means to an end.
Shamla, a lot of our followers are very big fans of yours, and I want to invite you to our next public meeting to please come and speak to this issue a little more in depth, because a lot of people are looking for opportunities for career choices, and many don't know the massive potential and profitability of getting into a farming lifestyle, especially using modern farming techniques in a data-driven, planned environment.
Right, but we have to have the proper data facilities. Proper data facilities. We have it. We have data being collected, but the question is if the data being collected, is it effective? That's the question you have to ask yourself. But yes, I advise individuals who are involved who want to get involved in agriculture, step-by-step process on what they can do, and the possibilities they have with respect to their acre land, 2 acres of land, the type of produce. I do all these things as a part-time.
So, I also want to say, for everybody to hear me say this to you in your presence, you are also instructing our food production section of our manifesto, yes?
Yes, I'm helping you with that.
Excellent. Shamla, we're going to be calling you again to invite you to come out and meet the public. Some of these people want to talk to you and get some information from you. So as long as you're up to it, and I will be able to let them know, yes?
No problem.
Thanks
no
a lot.
problem.
Thanks.
I would do anything to help my country with respect to, we have to, just before I go, far too often our country has blessed us so much resources, and we should be a social status, and we're not seeing that. And I tell you the truth, I'm thinking, I'm not sure, but I'm still thinking, about what they asked me. But we have to do something in order to get our country back on track in terms of maximize our potential as humans, and maximize our resources at a minimum cost. We have to do that, and if we must start now, in order else you would end up like Venezuela.
Indeed. Shamla, Maraj, thank you very much for sharing your bountiful knowledge and your bountiful heart with us. And I'll be talking to you again soon, yes?
No problem.
Take care.
Have a nice night.
You too, my friend. Yeah. So, if I was to say it, I want to tell you something. She is beyond brilliant. I see some people saying she's brilliant. You got a tip of the iceberg. She is beyond brilliant. When I tell you what we would do, Progressive Empowerment Party would use whatever legal power the state has to reclaim all agriculture land that will reassigned and misused for any purposes. Any people who got county lands and reassigned them to other things, rethink that, because it's food production is what we're supposed to be about. This nation is not supposed to have any sort of employment problems right now. Dude and URP and CPEP and all of these nonsense make work, handout, dependency creating, mind stifling programs need to be rechanneled into food production, food processing. There is a state in the United States, New Orleans. They do carnival, but they produce pepper sauce and export to the world, and people know that brand Tabasco anywhere they go. We are the owners of Angostura Bitters, and besides Angostura, nobody knows what is involved in it, how does it get done. We don't know where our rum stock's coming from now. We just found out that the majority of Angostura rum right now is Guyanese rum being repackaged and rebranded and fooling people. We need to flip these scripts. We need to get all of these white-collar criminal, mocking, pretending posers out of government, out of public office. We need to get back to a place where we could bring patriots and civic-minded people with brain and heart for this country back into these positions and turn it around, flip the script, fix it. We supposed to be feeding ourselves, not spending $5 billion a year US, importing food, $500 million in beef from Brazil alone. This is insane.
He promised the fire next time. He promised the fire next time. And who ain't there, the bad, who ain't there, bad, who ain't there, the bad.
Imagine a situation where it is possible for an entrepreneur farmer to go to the Central Marketing Agency and request an acre of land. I would like to become a farmer. Do you have any experience? No. I will train you. I will give you support systems. We will start you with basic crops that are easy to grow. So we give you directions and guidelines. We give you seeds, seedlings, cuttings, whatever you require to grow it. We give you whatever organic or otherwise chemicals that you need to make it happen. We give you that. We agree with you now. We tell you 6 months down the road you should reap your first harvest. We will buy it from you at X a pound now, so that you could calculate for the next 3 months, the next 6 months, I could work for this and clear this as a profit. That first acre of land, it will be remaining as the Central Marketing Agency's land, but you will have use of that land for as long as you are working in collaboration with the Central Marketing Agency to grow food for the people. There was a thing created under the People's Partnership Government called M-Test. I understand they shut it down. This is an insane government you have here, because M-Test, let me tell you what's going on in this country. They have plenty people who grow up and learn a trade. They are plumber, they are welder, they are mason, they are carpenter, they are mechanic, and they have no formal qualifications, but they have a wealth of knowledge and experience and plenty ability, but they're working for hustler money because they have no paper. But you could take those same people and examine their skill set and certify them and say you are a grade 1 mason, or if you spend 2 weeks with us, you could become a grade 1 mason, and you could move from $250 a day to $600 a day, because you're not a hustler anymore. You're an actual certified mason, because school is supposed to teach people what and these people are learning in the school of reality. They have this concept called masters. Everybody and their brother have a masters. I want you to go and research what a masters is. You can't just jump in a field. This is bullshit and nonsense. You can't just jump in a field and say, make me a master. A masters is supposed to have a decade of work behind it. You're supposed to have institutional knowledge, reflexive understanding. You can't get that because you cram a book for a year. Australia giving you masters in 9 months. How you could be a master of anything in 9 months? Would you get on a plane and fly in the air with a man who learned to fly this plane over the course of the last 9 months? No. Would you let somebody operate on you? No. But you hiring people to run your business and they're telling you there's master. How is a master? What is your mastery in? Reading book? Regurgitating information? I could Google what you know. I could Google it. It's there. All of the information in the world is available in everybody's hands, at everybody's fingertips. We need to get back to a place where common sense prevails in this country. And if we were never there, we need to get there now. We need to put people in public positions and positions of authority where the decisions they make sense. Somebody said last night, I said, none of our members of parliament would be government ministers. He said, how could that happen when we only have 16 senators? And I said, we do not need more than 14 ministers. 13, when you decentralize properly. Your most important ministries will be about management. I talked to a good partner today who's living in Aruka Central. He told me he had no water for the whole year and it's 10 days he get. But we was talking serious business, and we were discussing the fact that the government competes with the private sector in business, artificially uprooting the industries. People cannot compete against a government-owned organization that does not have to show a profit. TSTT could continue to eviscerate the telecommunication market in this country, and nobody will know the real value of it because it's state funds holding it up. We need to get out of those things. A progressive empowerment party government will shut down all of those boards, will sell all of those things. The state has no business being in business. Private sector's job is to be in business. The state's job is to protect and oversee the well-being and the smooth running of the nation. Properly done. You will not need to have the state in banking, even in airline. We don't have to be in the airline business. We could make sure and protect ourselves. Again, a lot of calls, but I'm not taking any calls right now because, well, we're running a little late, and so you had to stick a pin. But what we're talking about here, because people are asking, what would a progressive empowerment party government look like? A progressive empowerment party government would look like a government that takes national security very seriously. We would take full employment very seriously. We would take issues like poverty and declare war on that. We would take issues like traffic and declare war on traffic. And we don't want to go and spend $500 million to do racket rail studies. This is a nation that spent $500 million to study how to build a rapid rail. You could have Googled that. That is our truth. That is our reality. And then you pass the criminals who benefited from it, driving past you in Ferrari and BMW, like they're successful, and they're going to spend 9 months in some gate system to get a master's. They have more degrees than a thermometer, but no knowledge, no intelligence, and the nation running aground. This is who we are. You cannot continue to make your choices, your electoral choices. You cannot get on a plane with people who learned to fly yesterday. You cannot trust your country to people who only care about enriching friends and family so they could get their cut. I sat in a restaurant 15 years ago and I was learning politics. There was a government minister sitting on that table, 2 businessmen and me and 3 partners, and we eating Chinese food and we liking ourselves. We didn't know what we were at. The minister get up and walk away. I thought he went to the bathroom. A man who was in the restaurant, I did not know he was there before, got up and came and sat in the minister's chair, and they all of a sudden started to talk about the project, the money, the value, who getting what, and then he get up and he leave, and the minister come back. And I learned the term bagman for the first time that day. This is Trinidad. All of our contracts are decided that way. We have special purpose companies designed to end run around the constitutionally required law where you're supposed to tender. A progressive empowerment party government, first and foremost, will decentralize all purchasing power to all 41 constituencies. So you will get your money. If it costs $150 million to run a constituency, look, your $150 million, you have to account for it. If you spend the people money taking girls to Tobago to romp with, you will make a jail. You are responsible for deliverables. You give us a budget, we give you the money. If you spend it on things other than that budget, you will have to answer. We need to get to a place where we strip this country down and relearn how to do things right. We have a judiciary that's not answerable to nobody and just collapsed. Nobody wants to face that. We're playing that we're setting up little teams and we're going to look and we're going to read and we're going to think and we're going to ask, but what we're not saying is madness going on. The country feels like it has run aground and everybody grabbing something to go with. We need to turn this Titanic of Trinidad and Tobago around, and the only way you're doing that, is to solve the problem at the level of the bagman, financier, political party, triumphant of evil. Look at it. People are put on boards for one position to steal money, funnel it to financiers, investors who give it to political parties to keep them in power and rape you perpetually. Do not vote for me. Fire me from in front. But look for somebody who is at least willing to confront the bullshit straight on. Because we will not survive. Shamla just told you, we spend $5 billion a year. We spend $5 billion a year, US, importing food. $5 billion a year, importing food. That is insane. That is insane. And the only reason why that state of affairs could continue is because government ministers, for some reason, agriculture ministers, for some reason, have a vested interest in not growing food. And we have to face that, because we cannot solve any problem until we face it. Until we go to Clarence Rambarat and tell him, for your failure to grow food, fire yourself. We have to go to Anthony Garcia and let him know for the collapse of the nation's education system. You're the minister for 2 years, fire yourself. Call Member for the stupidity that you tried, fire yourself. Darrell Smith for bringing the whole Ministry of Sport into odium and distribute with your slack and nasty ways, fire yourself. Faris Al-Rawi, you just fire yourself for your fashion sense. Keith Rowley for the stupidity for appointing half of these mocking pretenders to office, fire yourself. This is not for kids. And I want to tell every bakery in this country, every bakery, hire poor people. Take your staff, shut down your bakery, just organize your kitchen and go and sell on the nation's roads and highways. Go and sell and call your staff entrepreneurs and go and sell on the nation's highways, because apparently illegal vending for bread and baked goods is legal, because Kiss with the Quelo brand getting away with it every day. They're getting away with it. So I want the other bakeries in this country, do not take that stick and close down when they come in to plant a man in front of you to sell cheap hops and drive you out of business. Come out in the road too and let me know. Take a picture and send it for me. We will raise funds to defend you if you have to go to court, because it is insane that this is allowed to continue. Trinidad and Tobago needs to go back to the country, and I don't care who sit in what private meeting, and I know all these but I want to call you out, I want to call you out, but they have more lawyers than me. I want to call you out. When all they meeting in all little St. Clair and thing, all they get together and planning how to divide up the country. All they dividing up the country and have people suffering, killing one another for their rightful share. The average citizen of this country is supposed to be a millionaire. The average person, Morvan, Beatam, Lavantil, Silot, Abi Pujad, Big Yard, Mason, Factory Road, La Hoqueta Phase 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, Aruka, Rapai Village. The average person in Tobago supposed to be a millionaire. They are not millionaires because billionaires have their money in their account. And we need to fix that. This country, the people of this country has been raped by the neo-colonists, and everything that happened from the day socialist Captain Dr. Eric Williams and crew took control of the state and handed it over to well-dressed bandits that look like us and talk like us, but never had our interests at heart. We need to change that. Creating a UNC as a racist, tribal, ethnic answer to the PNM is not enough, because they're not different. The UNC did not come out of office because nobody liked them. They came out of office because they were damn arrogant and corrupt. They were fired because they were continuously exposed for the bullshit they were doing. And it's not just PNM talk. So Alan Karim and the rest of y'all in the UNC Facebook groups, miss me with your bullshit. People know people in this country. When you living next to me and overnight you're a millionaire and nothing else in your life changed, but because you have access to a government friend. Come on, man. Come on. The country's small. People know people. Everybody know how everybody get where they go in. It is time we, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, had an opportunity to stand up for ourselves and to speak out against all of this nonsense. And that, more than anything else, is what the Progressive Empowerment Party stands for. I tell somebody today, I don't want to be Prime Minister. I want to be the man that sit down there and make sure the Prime Minister do his bloody job. That's the job I want. I don't need jewelry. I don't need access to girls and to go on rumps in Tobago. I don't need a Range Rover. I am the happiest with the least. I just want a better country. I feel this nation has so much potential that its people could be the happiest people in the world. We're blessed. We're eternally blessed. We're gifted. We have everything we need to be a proper example of what a real nation should be. But for the fact that we have a couple very greedy and devious members of our society willing to gang up and rape us all. And that is what has to change. And that is why you need to join up in a political representation of yourself away from the PNM and the UNC. You don't have to join the PEP. Form your own party. It's easy. Look, I just formed one. We just form one. I don't say it's easy, a lot of work, but it's doable. And you can set up right now independence in every constituency. Challenge the PNM and UNC hegemony. It's never worked for us. No amount of box drain, airport, and fraudulent government campuses in town should fool you. $700,000 per room in Hyatt. Come on, man. Keith Rowley is the Prime Minister today. He admitted to this nation that the cabinet of which he was a part was the most corrupt in this nation's history, and he's still doing nothing about it. So what more you need to wake you up? We're marching for Taruba, we're marching for Kuva Hospital, neither of which we needed. $2 billion at least wasted between them. That is $2,000 million. You know how much house that could have built? Trinidad, wake up, eh? If you want to be a part of the Progressive Empowerment Party, we're meeting this Saturday. This is not for everybody. This is for those who want to serve and get on board. The steering committee and the executive committee. Come, it's not going to be a long meeting. It's literally get acquainted, exchange information, and put you in touch with somebody that best works your skill. If you want to just join, peptrinbago@gmail.com. Send an email. Tell them what you're about, what you're for. Join the party. Yeah? Other than that, what to tell you? For the rest of them in government, the rest in opposition, the 41 in parliament, for failing the nation, tell them, fire yourself. Call Lila and order your shirt. I'll see you tomorrow. Stay safe, Trinidad and Tobago.